The controller slipped from Emma's hands, clattering onto the hardwood floor with a sound that echoed like a gunshot in the quiet apartment. Her heart raced, not from the pixelated chaos on the screen, but from the way Lily's laughter filled the room, warm and unguarded, pulling her in like gravity. In that fleeting moment, Emma realized she wasn't just here to play games. She was falling hard for the woman sitting inches away. It was a Friday night in Seattle, the kind where the city hummed with restless energy, and Emma, 24, had no plans beyond escaping the weight of her week. She was a graphic designer, perpetually stressed, her life a blur of deadlines and coffee runs. Her roommate Lily, 25, had texted her earlier that day. "Come over. New game. Snacks. You in?" Emma didn't hesitate. Lily's place was her sanctuary, a cluttered apartment filled with vintage gaming consoles, fairy lights, and the faint scent of lavender. It was the one place where Emma could breathe. Lily was everything Emma wasn't: bold, unapologetic, a painter who wore her heart on her sleeve and her emotions in her art. She had a laugh that could light up a room and a way of looking at Emma that made her feel seen, really seen, for the first time in years. They'd been roommates for 6 months, sharing a cramped 2-bedroom in Capitol Hill, but tonight was different. Tonight, Emma felt the air shift, like the world was holding its breath. They sat on Lily's couch, a second-hand relic covered in mismatched throw blankets, playing a retro fighting game. The screen flashed with vibrant colors, but Emma's focus was on Lily, her quick fingers on the controller, the way her dark hair fell over one shoulder, the curve of her smile when she won a round. "You're terrible at this," Lily teased, nudging Emma's shoulder. Their eyes met and Emma's breath caught. There was something in Lily's gaze, something unspoken but heavy, like a secret begging to be told. "Rematch," Emma said, trying to steady her voice. She wasn't ready for whatever this was, not yet. Growing up in a small town in Ohio, she'd learned to bury feelings like these, to hide the part of herself that didn't fit into her family's neat, conservative box. She dated guys, played the part, but never felt the spark she was feeling now, sitting next to Lily, their knees brushing. It terrified her as much as it thrilled her. Lily leaned closer, her voice softening. "You okay? You look distracted." Her fingers grazed Emma's wrist, a touch so light it could have been an accident, but it sent a jolt through Emma's entire body. She wanted to say something, anything, but the words stuck in her throat. Instead, she nodded, grabbing the controller like a lifeline. The night wore on, the game forgotten as they talked, about everything and nothing. Lily shared stories of her childhood in Portland, her dreams of opening an art gallery, her fear of never being enough. Emma listened, captivated, letting her guard down. She told Lily about her own fears: failing at her career, disappointing her parents, never finding her place in the world. The vulnerability felt dangerous, but with Lily it was safe. Then out of nowhere, Lily paused, her eyes locking onto Emma's. "Can I tell you something?" she asked, her voice barely above a whisper. Emma nodded, her heart pounding. Lily took a deep breath, her fingers twisting the hem of her blouse. "I've been wanting to say this for a while, but I like you, Emma. Not just as a friend. Like really like you." The words hung in the air, heavy and electric. Emma's mind raced. She'd felt it too, this pull between them, but hearing it out loud made it real. Too real. Her instinct was to run, to retreat to the safety of denial. But Lily's eyes held her in place, pleading and hopeful. I don't know what to say," Emma stammered, her voice cracking. "You don't have to say anything," Lily said quickly, her cheeks flushing. "I just needed you to know. I couldn't keep pretending." She reached for Emma's hand, then stopped, as if afraid to push too far. The silence stretched, thick with possibility and fear. Emma's thoughts spiraled. She'd never let herself imagine this, not fully. She'd pushed down every flutter, every glance, convincing herself it was nothing. But now, with Lily's confession laid bare, she couldn't ignore it anymore. She wanted to reach out, to close the distance, but the weight of her past, her family's expectations, her own uncertainty, held her back. "I need time," Emma finally said, her voice trembling. Lily nodded, her expression a mix of hope and disappointment. "Take all the time you need," she said softly. "I'm not going anywhere." As Emma left Lily's apartment that night, the city lights blurring through her tears, she felt like she was standing on the edge of something vast and unknown. She wasn't sure if she was ready to leap, But one thing was clear. Her life would never be the same. The next morning, Emma woke to the sound of rain tapping against her window, a steady rhythm that mirrored her restless thoughts. Lily's words echoed in her mind, each syllable a spark that refused to fade. She lay in bed, staring at the ceiling, torn between the thrill of possibility and the fear of what it meant to embrace it. At work, Emma's focus was shot. Her design project, a sleek website for a local coffee shop, felt trivial compared to the storm inside her. She kept replaying the moment Lily confessed, the way her voice had trembled, the raw honesty in her eyes. Emma had never felt so exposed, so wanted. It was intoxicating, but it also scared her senseless. What if she let herself feel this and it all fell apart? What if she wasn't enough for Lily, or worse, for herself? By noon she couldn't take it anymore. She texted Lily. "Can we talk? Tonight?" The reply came instantly, "My place. 7. I'll make dinner." Emma's stomach flipped. This was real. There was no going back. When she arrived at Lily's apartment, the smell of garlic and tomatoes greeted her. Lily was in the kitchen, stirring a pot of pasta sauce, her hair tied back in a messy bun. She looked effortlessly beautiful, and Emma's heart ached with the weight of what she was about to say. "Hey," Lily said, smiling softly. "You okay?" Emma nodded, but her hands were shaking. They sat at the small dining table, plates of spaghetti untouched as the tension built. "I've been thinking about last night," Emma began, her voice unsteady. "About what you said. And I think I feel the same way. I'm just scared." Lily's eyes softened, but she didn't interrupt. Emma continued, the words spilling out like a dam breaking. "I've never done this before. I've never liked a woman like this. My family, they wouldn't understand. I don't even know if I understand. But when I'm with you, it feels right. It feels like home." Lily reached across the table, her hand covering Emma's. "You don't have to have it all figured out," she said. "I'm scared too. But I know how I feel about you, and I'm willing to take the risk." "Are you?" Emma's breath hitched. She wanted to say yes, to throw caution to the wind, but the fear was still there, clawing at her. Instead, she squeezed Lily's hand, a silent promise. They ate dinner, the conversation lighter but charged with unspoken questions. Afterward, they moved to the couch and Lily put on a movie, an old rom-com that neither of them paid attention to. They sat close, their shoulders touching, and Emma felt the warmth of Lily's presence like a lifeline. As the credits rolled, Lily turned to her. "Stay," she said simply. Not a question but an invitation. Emma's heart pounded, but she nodded. They fell asleep on the couch, tangled in blankets in each other. The cities hum a distant lullaby. The next few weeks were a blur of stolen moments, late-night talks, shared coffee runs, tentative touches that grew bolder. Emma felt like she was waking up for the first time, her world expanding with every smile Lily gave her. But the fear lingered. She hadn't told anyone about them. Not her coworkers, not her friends, and definitely not her family. The thought of her parents' disapproval, her mother's lectures, her father's silence, made her stomach churn. One evening as they walked through Pike Place Market, Lily stopped at a flower stall, buying a single sunflower and tucking it behind Emma's ear. "You're beautiful," she said, her voice soft but fierce. Emma blushed, but the moment was interrupted by a text from her sister. "Claire? Mom's asking why you're so distant lately. Everything okay?" Emma's smile faltered. She hadn't realized how much she'd been pulling away, guarding this new part of herself. Lily noticed, her brow furrowing. "You don't have to tell them yet," she said, reading Emma's mind. "But you can't hide forever. Not from yourself." That night, lying in Lily's bed, Emma couldn't sleep. The sunflower sat on the nightstand, a reminder of what she stood to lose, and what she stood to gain. She knew Lily was right. She couldn't keep living in two worlds, one where she was free and one where she was afraid. But choosing meant risking everything. The turning point came unexpectedly, like a storm rolling in off the Puget Sound. Emma's mother called, her voice sharp with concern. "You haven't been home in months, Emma. What's going on out there?" Emma froze, her phone pressed to her ear, Lily watching from across the room. She mumbled something about work, but her mother wasn't fooled. "We're coming to visit," she declared. "Next weekend." Panic gripped Emma. Her parents, devout and traditional, had never met Lily. They didn't even know she was more than a roommate. Emma spent the week spiraling, imagining every worst-case scenario. Disapproval, rejection. The kind of silence that cuts deeper than words. Lily tried to reassure her, but Emma's fear was a wall she couldn't break through. When her parents arrived, Emma insisted on meeting them alone at a cafe downtown. The conversation was strained, her mother probing, her father distant. "You seem different," her mother said, eyes narrowing. "Is there someone in your life?" Emma's heart stopped. She wanted to tell them about Lily, about the woman who made her feel alive, but the words wouldn't come. Instead, she changed the subject, hating herself for it. That night, back at the apartment, Lily was quiet. "You didn't tell them," she said, not accusingly, but with a sadness that stung worse than anger. Emma tried to explain, but the words felt hollow. "I'm not ready," she said, tears welling. "I don't know how to do this." Lily took her hands, her voice steady but pained. "I get it, Emma. I do. But I can't be your secret forever. I love you and I want to be with you, out in the open. Don't you want that too?" Emma's chest tightened. She did want it, more than anything, but the fear of losing her family, her past, was paralyzing. "I need you to be patient," she whispered. Lily nodded, but there was a distance in her eyes that hadn't been there before. The next day, Emma's parents insisted on seeing her apartment. She tried to keep them away, but they were relentless. When they arrived, Lily was there, painting in the living room, her canvas a riot of colors. Emma introduced her as her roommate, her voice shaking. Lily's smile was polite, but her eyes were guarded. Emma's mother, oblivious, complimented the artwork, but her father's silence was deafening. Emma felt like she was suffocating. After they left, Lily didn't speak. She cleaned her brushes in silence, her movements sharp. "I can't do this," she finally said, her voice breaking. "I can't keep pretending I'm just your friend. It's killing me, Emma." The words hit like a punch. Emma reached for her, but Lily stepped back. "I need space," she said, grabbing her jacket and heading for the door. "Figure out what you want. I'll be here when you do." And then she was gone, leaving Emma alone with the weight of her choices. For days, Emma was a ghost, moving through her life without feeling it. Work, home, sleep, none of it mattered without Lily. She missed her laugh, her touch, the way she made everything brighter. But she was also angry. At herself, at her fear, at the world that made this so hard. She knew she had to make a choice, but the thought of losing either Lily or her family felt like losing a part of herself. One night, unable to sleep, Emma wandered to Lily's favorite park, a quiet spot by Lake Union. She sat on a bench, watching the water ripple under the moonlight, and let herself imagine a life where she was honest, where she was free. It was terrifying, but it was also beautiful. For the first time, she realized that hiding wasn't protecting her. It was holding her back. Emma spent the next morning writing a letter to her parents. It was messy, tear-stained, but honest. She told them about Lily, about how she'd never felt more herself than when she was with her. She wrote about her fear, her love, her hope that they could understand. She didn't know if they would, but she mailed it anyway, her hands trembling as she dropped it in the mailbox. It was the first step toward living her truth. She found Lily at her art studio, a small space downtown filled with half-finished canvases. Lily looked tired, her eyes red, but she softened when she saw Emma. "I'm sorry," Emma said, her voice raw. "I was scared and I hurt you. But I'm done hiding. I love you, Lily. I want to be with you and I don't care who knows." Lily's eyes filled with tears, but she smiled, a real smile that lit up the room. "Are you sure?" she asked, stepping closer. Emma nodded, closing the distance between them. Their kiss was tentative at first, then fierce, a release of all the fear and longing they'd been carrying. Felt like coming home. They spent the next few weeks rebuilding, learning how to be together without the weight of secrets. Emma told her coworkers, her friends, and slowly, the world started to feel less heavy. Some reactions were kind, others cold, but Emma found strength in Lily's unwavering support. They went on dates, real dates, holding hands in public, stealing kisses in coffee shops. It wasn't always easy, but it was worth it. Then came the response from Emma's parents. A letter, short and formal, arrived in the mail. Her mother wrote that they needed time, that this was hard to process. Her father didn't write anything. Emma cried, but Lily was there, holding her, reminding her that she wasn't alone. "They might come around," Lily said. "And if they don't, you've got me. You've got us." Emma started to see the world differently. She noticed the small acts of courage around her, couples like them living openly, defying judgment. She realized that love wasn't just about the two of them. It was about the community they were part of, the history they were carrying forward. She began volunteering at a local LGBTQ center, finding purpose in helping others navigate their own journeys. One evening, as they sat on their balcony, watching the city lights, Lily turned to Emma. "I want to paint you," she said. "Not just your face, but who you are. All of it." Emma laughed, blushing, but agreed. The painting became a project, a testament to their love, filled with bold colors and quiet moments. It was Lily's way of saying forever, and Emma's way of saying yes. But life wasn't a fairy tale. There were still challenges, whispers at work, awkward family calls, the occasional stranger's stare. Emma learned to navigate them not by hiding but by standing taller. She was learning who she was, not just as Lily's partner, but as herself. A year later, Emma and Lily stood in a small gallery downtown, surrounded by Lily's paintings. The centerpiece was the portrait of Emma, a vibrant, swirling mix of colors that captured her strength, her vulnerability, her love. Friends, co-workers, and strangers milled around, their voices a soft hum of admiration. Emma's parents weren't there, but Claire, her sister, was, her smile wide as she hugged them both. "I'm proud of you," she whispered to Emma, and it meant the world. The journey hadn't been easy. There were nights when Emma doubted herself, when the weight of her choices felt too heavy. But every time Lily was there, her love a steady anchor. They'd built a life together, messy and perfect, but theirs. They'd moved into a new apartment, one they chose together, filled with plants and art and the echoes of their laughter. As the gallery event wound down, Emma and Lily slipped outside, the cool night air wrapping around them. They walked hand in hand, the city alive with possibility. "Do you ever regret it?" Lily asked, her voice soft. "Choosing this? Choosing us?" Emma stopped, turning to face her. "Not for a second," she said, her voice steady. "You're my home, Lily. You're my everything." They kissed, slow and sure, under the glow of a streetlight, the world fading away. Their story wasn't just about love. It was about courage, about choosing authenticity over fear, about building a life that honored who they were. Emma had come to Lily's place to play games, but she'd found so much more. A partner, a purpose, a truth she'd spent years running from. And as they stood together, the future stretching out before them, Emma knew one thing for certain. They'd face it together, no matter what came next.